Travel the days of freedom, roads leading everywhere. Come with me now and show you can. Follow the dying embers, cross on the path they lay. Breath of the past, the earth's yesterdays. Free your mind, maybe you will find that the past is still turning. Circles sway, echo yesterday. Ashes burning, ashes burning. Colors are fading starlight, silver the way to find. Walking the shadows, light in our mind. Changing the order slowly, leaving the mist of time. Fingers are holding fragments of light. Free your mind, maybe you will find that the past is still turning. Circles sway, echo yesterday. Ashes burning, ashes burning. La 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 la.
Well, that was quick. If it's working.
What?
Oh, I was like, uh-oh, he's not here in another 5 minutes, so I just sent you a text. And just as I said, you showed up.
I show up at 55 after.
What's that?
I show up at 55 after.
Okay. 55 after what?
4.
Okay.
What?
No,
I'm not allowed to take a poop. I'm sorry, man.
I'm
Are you
running
having
out of
I have anxieties. What's up, dude?
I'm running out of co-hosts to have at go time to be sure that I can start on time.
You can start at 5. I'll show up at some point. Maybe.
I don't start till I have a co-host.
Oh. Well.
I just don't. I don't enjoy doing this solo. Some of us don't enjoy doing this period.
Well, I got home at 3. I took a nap
Yeah.
for about an hour, and then I did the gator. I'm doing this. So there you go.
No, yeah, you are here, which is more than we could say for other people. But, you know, we should, actually try to make this official.
Sorry.
Because this is another fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
Fun Not Guaranteed. So don't be writing in for refunds if you didn't have fun.
Oh.
I mean, fun is subjective.
It's subjectional. You don't want to be here. You good at your channel. I mean, there's 8,322 gajillion channels on Twitch.
Yeah.
But if you're going on OnlyFans to go see the president, you're not gonna find him anymore. Or CEO.
Ew. No, I didn't need that picture in my mind.
What? The guy from OnlyFans?
You said president.
No, not that guy. If he has an OnlyFans, he actually might make some interesting money at first month. But
I mean, there are people that would pay good money.
No,
I am not one of them.
No, I don't think many people would. No, was it the CEO guy, the big guy that started OnlyFans? He passed away. He was only 43. What was wrong with him? Is he okay?
Whoa,
He's not
that's
okay, but why he
that's
passed
not
at
good.
43, dude?
That's
Hell
not
young.
good. That's
Yeah,
not
he's hella
good.
young.
That's way too young. Way too
I
young.
know. I'm sure his family was bajillionaires.
Yeah.
More money than I got, so that's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, more than I got, but that doesn't say
Think
much.
of all the feet pics he has on his server now.
Tons.
Yeah, there are a lot of feet pics there.
That's a lot of feet pics.
There's a lot of feet pics there.
A lot of feet pics.
I don't know where Mod Pro is. Maybe she's over there looking at all the feet pics. I don't know.
I don't know where anyone is, because it's just you and me, and that's it. We got. I mean,
It's a little early. They're not here yet.
Dune was sitting here early last week, during the pre-show for the show that wasn't.
What? I'm sorry. I took a nap outside.
No.
It was like 90. It was like 89 degrees or something. I went on.
I
deck,
wasn't
I took a little
saying
nap.
that to be passive aggressive. I was
Yeah,
saying
that's
that
fine.
because I was recapping
I mean,
facts.
you would understand. Dude would understand though. If I took a little nap
Yeah.
on the deck for an hour, it's fine. Oh, by the way, I went walking yesterday and I'm burned as a crisp. I'm burned to a crisp. So.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
good.
I went to
Gotta get
Coyote
some.
Hills.
Gotta get
Yeah,
some sunscreen there.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Coyote Hills, partied with family. My father was here for the weekend, see the new baby. So.
That's
You know.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
And boy, I gotta tell you, a month to 2 months, that baby has lungs. Woo, that baby has lungs.
But babies have lungs.
That baby
Babies-
has lungs.
Baby
is a
got
healthy baby.
lungs.
Yeah.
Isn't that how the song goes? Baby got lungs. Or
You know
something?
what was it, like a jazz song or something?
Yeah. That's what I was. Totally. That jazz
I'm
song.
sure it's a jazz song, right?
Got to be a
Got
jazz
lungs?
song. Baby
Yeah.
got lungs.
Baby got lungs. She'd be blowing the horn. I don't know. She'd be blowing the tuba. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Yeah, this could go horribly wrong if we
Hey, Gators.
yeah.
It's been warm here.
It's been warm there.
Yeah, it's been 90 degrees for last week.
I saw some snow flurries today.
Oh, it was 83 degrees today. It was amazing. It's so nice. Had my windows open.
Like-
took a little nap on the deck again
Oh,
in the sun, even though I'm burnt.
A week or two ago, we had a beautiful sunny day, and it was basically just that, tease is basically the fake spring. So, I mean, it's fucking March. It's close to the fucking end of March. It should be.
Actually,
you know,
you already had your wintorial, your spring with the vernal, the spring thing, the March 20th.
yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
So,
In my pro, I'm sorry, in my pro, I know you're mad at me. It's like 2. Your place. It's like 2.
well, Bob, that's okay because Bob Pro's not here yet. No one's here. It's still an empty Twitch chat room. No
it's fine.
Twitch views. I don't know if there's any
Maybe
YouTube
I'll wait for
views.
Brian Blues to show back up. I don't know. Or did you? I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
I have content, but why should I tell content to a zero audience? I mean, I could tell you, but I could just call you and tell you. The point of this show is to relay the full story to the audience, the people that care. This is a pretty important week to show up. People should be showing up this week. We need to see some people here. So I don't know how to get the word out. Like, no, there's really a show. Maybe.
Yeah.
I for how long I don't know, but there's still kind of a show. Maybe.
There's 2 viewers. It's me and somebody else.
All I see is me and the broadcasters, Stream Elements and the chat bots, and Blocklist Buddy and the viewers.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well.
now Sparky showed up yesterday on the Dune and Johnny show.
Oh, I wasn't around. I was
Right
part of
towards
it.
the end of my big story, and it's like, don't worry, I'll be telling it again tomorrow. And I even told Sparky, hey, look, you show up before the show starts. If Mars sleeps in again, I'll go solo just to tell you my story. But
Wow.
but Sparky's not here, so he's not here early. So he didn't get here early to make sure I go solo.
Sparky gets here about 45 minutes in. He got stuff to do. He got firewood to burn. What are you talking about, Gabe?
It all depends.
He's got to buy his Cheerios, get ready. He's probably getting ready to sit in the Bertha Lounger near the fireplace.
It all depends on whether or not he's got room for a tab for us next to all those other tabs, which would make our tab booby adjacent.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Firefox will let you do picture side by side screen now. So you can watch them both at once.
No one wants that.
Well, why not?
I mean, I should consider myself lucky. Sparky wants to hear my voice while looking at the boobies, but
Well, you can mute one side or the other. I mean, do both. I mean, Control M mutes the tab on Firefox. It's fine.
you can just bring the tab up, pretend you're listening.
I hit I hit Control M all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
but no, Brian is on indefinite hiatus, not necessarily
that's
permanent.
what he said. I didn't know if he was in.
Well, that's my paraphrasing. I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story when some regulars get here. I'm gonna give the regulars time to get here because they should know.
It's a little early.
It's a little early. Well, yeah, but if you want to hear the story, you got to be here from the start. I mean, it's not like I change the time every week. We start the same time every week.
We're a different time in Australia right now.
Yeah, but it's the same time in Australia as it was last week when we started in Australia, although we didn't start. But, we started. We just didn't actually go live.
What about Europe? Do we lose our European audience?
I don't know. You know what? The only audience we got is
How about
U.S.
New
and
Zealand?
Canada.
Do we have
I
anyone from
think
New
right
Zealand? Hey, New Zealanders, Kiwis.
No.
They're Kiwis, right? The New Zealanders
The-
are Kiwis.
the
Do they like
Kiwis.
being called Kiwis? I don't know.
now. I don't know.
Please
But they
write
got
in
that.
on YouTube. Let us know if you guys enjoy being called Kiwis.
But
'Cause
they have that
that-
toothbrush fence, don't they?
The toothbrush fence.
Yeah, in New Zealand they have a toothbrush fence.
They have friends made out of toothbrushes.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that to keep the kiwi birds out?
I don't know what it's for. I guess it's
Or
for
the-
good
the
dental
fruits.
hygiene.
Wow.
That way,
My
if you don't have a
dentist never told me
toothbrush,
about that one.
I
I mean, okay.
well, it's more a New Zealand fact than a dental fact. But
Do they
yeah,
have snakes in New Zealand?
I don't know. I
I mean, I know
really
they don't have snakes in Ireland.
don't know much about other countries. I mean,
Wow,
I
you
ba-
should
I-
you should play GeoGuessr. Then you get really mad at yourself.
I barely know things about this country.
You know what? The least you know about this country, the better.
Yeah.
You know the FCC just banned foreign routers from the country coming back into the country now. Did you
Oh,
see
that-
that? Did you
that-
see
that-
that?
that's
That
great.
means we're getting no routers coming in now. Not just TP-Link, nothing. Sorry, guys. If you have a foreign-made router and you like the company, you're not getting it again unless it's FCC regulated. I'm sorry. Asus? Nah, you're not getting those anymore. You know, TP-Link? You ain't getting that now. You know.
I mean, is there any credible
You want
threat
Linksys?
to?
Actually, Linksys is Cisco. I don't know if that's US based. I'm probably gonna buy Ubiquiti, a unified router, but
Okay,
I think
alright.
that's US based. Maybe, I don't know. And that's consumer only. So if you buy Pro,
Well,
you know,
are U.S. based things even fully made in all parts in the U.S.? I mean,
no,
no. I mean, is any? It's well. There's that whole podcast about that company that tried to make the grill brush completely out of all parts.
Wait, the brush that you, the grill of a car or the grill you cook on?
Yeah, a brush for the grill you cook on,
Okay.
and they tried to make
Isn't
this.
that just like copper bristles?
Well, the problem with those brushes is that sometimes the wire bristles will come off and then they'll get in your food, and then it's a real problem if you ingest one of those. So this guy came up with some sort of like a chain link version of a grill brush. But he also wanted to experiment with, could I make this entirely in the U.S., like every part, like even buy screws that were made in the U.S., and it was a real challenge. And
a lot of our car stuff is made in Canada, actually.
Mm-hmm. But you can find podcasts and stories about that
Yeah,
story.
that's kind of interesting. It's kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
See how much we make. Now, honestly, I have no problem with foreign made stuff. I think it's great for foreign trade. I think foreign trade is great. I have no problem with this. Awesome. The world, we're all people. We should all talk to each other. It's good for us.
Yeah.
Everybody, hey guys, learn a language. I don't know any other languages but English. But go talk to other people in other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're 10 minutes in and still no one has showed up.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
I don't know, but I'm not starting the show till I have an audience. I mean,
Okay.
there's no point in just giving content to no one.
Wow, they can listen to podcasts.
I mean, but we
They
got to
have
get an
do you
audience
have
before
any-
we
do you
start
have
the
people
show.
on YouTube listening to the podcast or the VODs? Do you see numbers?
Every now and then the
Do you
GIMP
like
tunes in
the
on
number thing?
YouTube.
You go, yo, you've had 6,322 people listen to your last show. YouTube.
I see numbers sometimes.
Do they
Right
reach
now it
double
says
digits?
there's one viewer on YouTube, so I don't
Oh.
maybe
Hi,
that's
Addie.
don't say that name.
Oh, hi, Gimp.
I only say that name on Dune's show because it pisses him off.
Oh. I just thought I need to, wave to him.
That was because Dune was talking about they should make the Big Macs with the quarter pounder burgers, and I'm like someone taught us that you can order that, and all of a sudden he's just like I don't hear anything, I just hear clicking sounds coming through. It's like, grow up. You hate him. I hate him. We're both ignoring him.
You know,
That doesn't
honestly,
mean that history didn't happen.
I don't know. I'm not gonna buy that much meat from McDonald's anyway. I don't.
Yeah.
I go somewhere else better now. I just go to Nations or I go to a place that has better burgers.
Yeah. Well,
And honestly, you want more meat? Go to a place that has better burgers. You're gonna. It's gonna be. Go to Black Bear. Their burgers are great at Black Bear.
yeah. Well,
And they have excellent bacon. For those of you who bake excellent bacon at Black Bear, go for it.
I did go to McDonald's on Tuesday, but I had good reason because I needed a quick and easy meal option after a day of events, and it's like, let's just go to the
Gators,
McDonald's, go to the
Gators,
drive-through, and
Gators,
get the fuck home.
Gators, why didn't you go to IHOP?
Because we would have had to have driven to the other side of town.
Gators,
well-
you're supposed to put the drum fill on that one.
I go to what's the drum fill about? Why didn't you go to IHOP?
Never mind.
Because I would have been hopping to the booth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
I figured you'd get that one, but okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to think about that one a little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. No one's around.
I-
You're not on your game. I understand.
I really didn't feel like going to a dinner option that would require getting myself demonstrating in
you know what?
public how bad I am at using crutches.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not bad at crutches.
I wasn't good at them, but luckily I didn't need them that long.
Yeah. I had siblings, so I practiced that with theirs when I was a kid. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had crutches. They were around the house. I go, okay, I'll play with crutches today.
There you go.
That's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand McDonald's, Burger King. Actually, I wish you guys had Jack in the Box. You're getting all these old things. The frings are freaking good.
I do miss Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box is
Why are
good.
those only U.S. based? There's some in Texas, I think, too.
Yeah.
They need to come everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, but McDonald's has that new Arch
They have the Arch
burger.
Deluxe again.
No, it's something different from. I got excited for a moment because I thought it was the Arch Deluxe when I saw the word in it. No, it's the Big Arch. They're calling it the Big
yeah.
Arch Burger.
Who's that?
At-
Well, it's not Seattle. That's where is this one? Where's Arch at? That's in oh God, why can't I think of it all of a sudden?
What's this now?
The big arch thingy. Arch
Oh,
in the sky.
right. That's somewhere in the middle of the country.
Yeah. No one wants to go there anyway.
Yeah, but no, the Big Arch Burger is not an Arch Deluxe, and I was
Is it
disappointed.
decent?
It's I'm not gonna get it again. I didn't dislike it. It was a
What is
burger,
it?
but it
What-
wasn't
what's
great.
A big arch? What's a big arch burger?
Well, it's basically 2 quarter-pounder patties, so it's like a double quarter-pounder, but
Okay.
with like a fried onion, kind of crispy fried onions on it,
Okay.
and a different sauce on it that was okay, and
It's
some
just
lettuce
Thousand
on it.
Island modified.
I think it's a little more modified. I don't think it's the same as the Big Mac sauce. It's a bit of a modified. Let's
Okay.
see. McDonald's is launching the Big Arch Burger nationwide for a limited time in March, featuring 2 quarter-pound patties, white cheddar, and a new tangy sauce.
So the white cheddar wasn't that good.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but
try
the tangy sauce was okay, but not like, oh, I gotta have this again. You know, like, I love me a flame broiled Burger King Whopper with some ketchup and mayo on there that kind of mixes together into that, ketchup mayo-y tomato mix that's dripping off the burger. I mean that it's hard to compete with that when it comes to sauces on an old school fast food burger. But yeah, no, it was. But I liked the Arch Deluxe back in the 90s. I ordered that all the time. You could order it with bacon. Arch Deluxe with bacon. I got that every time I went to McDonald's when they
Not
offered it.
BLT.
I was no, well, McDLT was a bit before my time. I was probably still getting Happy Meals when they were offering the
Honestly, same here.
McDLT. Yeah.
Honestly, same here. Well, I was getting Happy Meals up to my 20s, so it's fine.
What? No, the
And they have
McDLT
adult Happy Meals now too. You can just get the adult version.
was the McDLT the one that had the double-sided container,
Hot side, cold. That was McDLT.
right? And you put it together yourself.
It was in the blue styrofoam.
It was kind of like, like the concept of a diner burger that serves the tomato and the lettuce on the side, so you can put it on your burger yourself. It was a similar concept to that.
It was great when you do that because you yank off the tomato and say, "That's done with that. I don't care about that thing."
Yeah, you could
throw it across the room. No one got it.
right, kind of customize it, build it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
what you gotta do.
Yeah. Now Sparky is in the house, so we could actually start a show.
Hey, Sparky.
Sparky asking, do you still like Archburger, the new one? No, the new one I didn't care for. I ate it and it was good, but I'm not going to order it again.
Shamrock Shake?
No, I just got an unsweetened iced tea.
Oh, it's
I'm
very
not-
adult of you.
I'm not big on loading my body up with sugar. Unless
Wow.
like I'm gonna make it count if I'm gonna I'll eat a ton of ice cream in the summer. I'll have an occasional soda pop, and if it is, it's got to be a
Very
Moxie.
adult of you.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of sugar in a soda. Soda really should be an occasional treat.
What about an Oreo cookie shake from Jack in the Box, the extra large one with the big ones?
Well, I have no Jack in the Box in the area.
Well, I mean that's only 2,000 calories too. So
Yeah, I will tell you though, if it were a Jack in the Box instead of a McDonald's on Tuesday, I probably would have gotten the Oreo shake because Oreo shake excites me. From Jack in the Box excites me a lot more than a Shamrock shake. McDonald's shakes are, just
Okay.
basically
they're gelatinous.
they're a
They're fine.
gelatinous frozen slurry that tastes good. That's what it is.
What was the clip from The Simpsons? They called it the gelatin and the gelatin. What's Krusty Burger
the
called?
non-hydrated or something.
Yeah,
the
something like that. Yeah.
chocolate flavored.
They call it a shake.
Sparky asking, what kind of soda pop, Johnny? Moxie? Yeah, Moxie. The official
Oh.
state beverage of Maine. Moxie's an
I'll
old...
do a Mexican Coke sometimes. I don't do a lot of soda. If I'm out and about, I'll get a soda. Especially to McDonald's Coke is honestly that's the best Coke there is. I don't know what they do, but they're special.
I never noticed a difference myself. But
Who
but
cares?
I mean, Moxie's an old school cola beverage that also has its roots in kind of medicinal soda.
Medicinal. What do they put in their
well-
Moxie?
Well, back in the day, soda was like a medicinal beverage that I think Coke started as a medicinal type of tonic or something like that. And Moxie has similar roots like
They
that.
Put cocaine in it. That's why it was medicinal.
Well, they put a lot of things in. There's plenty of YouTube videos of people trying to recreate the original recipe, short of coca
Is that
leaves.
legal?
Short of coca leaves.
Oh.
But they've been doing analyzing to try to chemically recreate the same chemicals that the coca leaf would give it. Sparky's writing, Moxie is like a root beer. Not quite. Moxie's got a bit of a ginger flavor to it and a bitter aftertaste.
That
But
sounds
it's
delicious.
yeah, I love it. It's great. Nice ice cold glass of Moxie on a hot summer day.
Do your Texarkana or Moxie run, all the way back to your location.
Oh, I'm close enough to Maine that they sell it on the shelves at the grocery store here. I could get Moxie.
Oh, you don't have to run it cross country?
No, I don't. I never saw it on the shelves in Jersey, and I don't know that I think it still hasn't gotten down to Jersey, but they have it. They have it in Massachusetts. I think they might have it in areas of Connecticut. I never really. I think you could get it at a Bevmo in California because Bevmo carries different specialty beverages beyond just alcohol.
Yeah, I never buy alcohol at Pabmo. I always go there for soda.
Yeah, but so anyways, we should go through all the stories. I've been doing this show for how many years now?
38 years.
38 years. Yeah, let's round up to 38. No, my the very first show we did, or I did, was Halloween of 2005. Of course, it was
21 years.
It was January of 2006 that we officially started the show, because the 2005 show was kind of a one-off dare challenge thing that I finagled Dare Damon into letting me do. Sparky asking, did you start when you were 5? How old do you think I am?
He's 5.
Thank you,
5.
Thank you, Sparky. You're my favorite listener. You can stay. Oh, in response to 38. I thought that was the response to the actual year. It's 38. I would have to have been pretty young when I started this show if we've been doing it for 38 years. But no, we've been doing this. We've been doing this now for over 20 years.
Well, you have. I haven't been doing it for 20 years. But.
And this isn't we've been doing this for over 20 years and it's time to wind it up. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying yet. I do intend to be here today, and I do intend to be here next week. But I will say that over 20 years of doing the show, one thing I've learned about doing the show is it has its high moments and it has its low moments. And those low moments are times in life where I've questioned, why am I doing this? I've questioned, what value is this? Does this do anything for anyone? Does anyone care? Would anyone miss this if it disappear? Does anyone even want to do this with me anymore? Because I've had times where co-hosts disappear or come and go, and I got to be honest. Right now, I'm in one of those low points. I mean, this whole concept of what we're really doing, which is internet radio, except with the addition of a camera and on video streaming platforms.
Well, some of us use a camera.
Yeah, but it's kind of a dead concept. I don't even know if I could adapt this to the same type of a what is it? All chat. Just chatting, I guess, is the concept that still exists, but I don't know that we exactly fit into the typical just chatting genre even. We have our regular listeners, and I love that. And I love our little community we have here. We see Sparky here just about every week. We see Mod Pro most weeks. We might not see her today, but we saw her yesterday on the Dune and Johnny show.
Dune, too.
OX64 pops in frequently. Sometimes we see him a few weeks in a row. Sometimes we don't see him a while. It's always fun when he shows up again. And of course, Dune is always here. I mean, me and Dune are kind of the last standing survivors of NHB at this point. Not in a literal sense. There are a lot of NHB staff members still alive. Standing. Yeah, Damon barely, but no. I should call him, see how he's doing. I think he's still doing all right, but I am at kind of this low point where it's like, where does the show fit in to the universe? I'm certainly not growing an audience. I'm certainly not growing a co-host base anymore. It used to be that co-hosts came and went, but there were times where I had like 7 people sitting in here. We'd have Forge and Pedge and Dune on the phone and Dark Elf and Emily and it's often I mean sometimes they were all there and Venison. My God, I miss Venison. And we'd all just be there were weeks when they just all showed up. And sometimes it was 1 or 2 of them but it was always but then there were the moments where people kind of got pissed off and stopped showing up as much. I remember I remember one time in Oakland, I was having a low point. I was getting ready to pull the plug on this show. And Venison was like, "No, man, we got a really good thing going on. Your show's..." I feel like Venison kind of really gave this show a definition. In that Venison was a streamer. He had his own thing he did. And his shows, he talked about certain topics or he played music. Whereas my show didn't have a format. And I think Venison liked that because he found it worthwhile to be...
Venison never had a topic. He just played what smoke was up his butt that day.
But usually, well, okay, I guess it was his version of that then. But but he was very big into the conspiracy theory stuff, or his show had a flavor, and I guess maybe my show has a flavor, and I just don't recognize it because I'm too close to it. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm getting off topic.
It's fine.
But Venison was very pulled me out of that at least once. He's like, look, I mean that he said something to the effect of that. He showed me that there was value, and my show was just this fun thing where anything goes, and we just all showed up. And some weeks later, things pulled up again. Certainly, some of the low moments corresponded to the low moments of network drama, and now that we don't have a network, we don't have that angle. But also sometimes the network drama really, even if it was bad, even if it was negative, even if it drew on our bad things, it gave the show was a place to be an outlet for that stuff, which was just part of life anyways. And I think at times it did provide some entertainment because people love a good drama. I almost wish we could have just faked the NHB drama instead of it actually being real, and found a way to make it more entertaining. I should have planned a statement because I'm just meandering and rambling, which
That's
is
fine.
probably
You meander. That's
probably
what this
fine.
show is about.
But certainly Brian has reached a low point with this show. He feels out of the loop when I go on my trips down nostalgia lane.
He wasn't a part of it. That's understandable.
Well, the one to me, I understand he wasn't a part of the NHB station stuff. But if I go into the archive, he's probably been on this show for more years than he's been off of it. So there's a lot of years of nostalgia that he was there for. But I guess he doesn't see it that way, especially since it seems like when it comes to nostalgia, people dig back even further. I guess there's this golden age, and it's before Brian, coincidentally. Or not, depending on your... no, But the point is I've detected for a while he's not having fun doing this. And when he stormed off a few weeks ago, he kind of had a feeling of he might be done with this. Dune rating in, similar thing. Yep, you were Bob way longer than Bob. Sometimes things happen that as time goes on. It's funny how you can think of like yourself as the new guy at a place, and it's like, damn, I've been at this job for 5 years. I'm not the new guy. Although I don't think I felt like a new guy at my job for a long time now, but you get the idea. So last week I was sitting here ready to go at the microphone, and Mars was sitting out in the 90-degree, beautiful sunny weather.
I was laying on my deck napping, Dune.
In
That's
the
what I was
middle,
doing, Dune.
in the middle of a wonderful, glorious nap.
Do you blame me taking a nap on the deck? I mean, I'm sorry.
That's why I called it a wonderful, glorious nap. You were just
I woke up and said, "Damn, I miss Gator's show." It's like I got on at like 6 after, and I'm like, "Well, I guess everybody's gone. Bye. I'm going back to bed."
Well, and it's like normally I would have waited a little longer. Normally I would have, but I so I sent the messages out to you and to Brian, and
Yeah,
then
my
I
phone was inside where I
and then
was
I
not.
and then I texted you and Brian, and then I rung your phone, figuring maybe you'd hear it ring and wake up, because I figured it was a 90% chance you were fast asleep, because you had said you were going to be there. So I figured, oh, he fell asleep, which happens.
My
It
phone was on the
happens.
inside when I was on the outside.
Ah, I see. So that did not help. But and then Brian sends me a text back, because I sent him a text show, and he sent a text back no. And it-
No.
And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. That's not cool. If we need to have a conversation, we have a conversation. You don't just send a passive aggressive one word text like that. Like I think it,
I did it before. Sorry.
that's not cool in my book. And so I've got a little passive aggressive back to him, and I kind of said, what's the deal? You quitting? And he wrote back, thinking about it. And I'm like, well, so then I called his phone, and he didn't pick up.
Uh-huh.
So then I wrote back, well, you could talk to me about it rather than just leave me hanging in front of a microphone every week. Because I was feeling pretty pissed off at this point to be this sprung on me, even though maybe it wasn't exactly sprung, but you know what I mean. So the thing is that apparently my call didn't go through. So then my phone rings. It's Brian. And so at that point, or some point before that, I pulled the plug on the pending show. I'm like, this show ain't happening. Mars ain't waking up. Brian's called me. I got to take this call. And wouldn't you know it, while I'm on the phone with him, I see the message from Mars. Well, I guess no one showed up. And I'm like, damn it, almost had a show. So, but Brian and I had a good talk, and Brian's position was that he's, perfectly fine with me, perfectly happy to continue talking to me, but not really interested in doing the show. And I'm like, okay, but, well, I heard him out, and he went through the whole feeling detached from the trips down memory lane, and kind of bored of just hearing the same stories. And also he was pissed off about how the political thing went down, which is, Sparky wants to know how long the talk was. I mean, it was more than 5 minutes. It was, I'd say it'd be in the ballpark of a half hour to 45 minutes off the top of my head, but it's let's see if.
I had enough time to take a quick shower between their conversation. How's that?
Yeah, that's right. Because I called you after I got off the phone with him,
Yeah.
and I called you at
I was
9
dripping
o'clock.
wet, so I had. dry
So
mouth
so
there.
Brian called me back at 8:07, and I called you at 9 o'clock. So yeah, almost an hour. So it was a good chat. It was a good.
No, I was still soaking wet when he called me, but it's okay. I dry quickly, so it was
Yeah.
90 degrees, so I dried quickly, but still.
Yeah, because I called Mars after I got off the phone with Brian to fill him in on like, hey, yeah, no. So yeah, we had a good long chat, and I've kind of related to Brian that shows have their ups and downs. I've nearly pulled the plug. Heck, I have pulled the plug on the show a few times. In fact, some people would say this isn't even that show. Pseudo Sinister writing in, when Take It or Leave It stopped doing the show, they stopped talking and started hating each other. That's Brian and I are not going to hate each other. But my point to Brian is that the show gave us an excuse and a reason to talk to each other each week, and that we're probably not going to call each other all that frequently unless there's like a real reason to. And so, and Brian's like, yeah, well, I talk to Nick sometimes, although it's been a while since I talked to Nick. I'm like, exactly. You and me are going to be you and Nick, or me and Nick. We're rarely going to talk if we don't find a way to make this work. And we have a choice. I mean, we could drift away, and that could be perfectly normal and natural, but I'd rather not. And we have a choice in front of us to try to not let that happen. And so I kind of suggested, I could try to lay off the memory lane stuff as much, or, and I suggested maybe I put a shared document out there that me, Mars, him can jot things down on. And I didn't suggest this, but I am thinking in my head, maybe this show doesn't need to be a weekly show. Maybe I don't have enough content or enough going on to make a weekly show anymore. Not that it's really been a weekly show for the past month or so, but maybe we need to get on more of a rotation schedule. Another idea that comes to my mind is we kind of have a small little tight-knit group. There's not really much of an audience there. Maybe we make this more of a weekly Discord meeting. Maybe we could even talk some of the regulars into bringing their microphones into the Discord, and we could have Sparky there and Mod Pro there and Pseudo Sinister and
Discord. Holy moly! I gotta figure out my Discord. I got like 8 billion Discord. Oh God.
That's a long shot idea. I don't
can do it. That's not a problem. It's just.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if our listeners are going to follow us into being part of just a weekly group to hang out in a chat room for the heck of it. But the point is that Brian left the conversation with something to think about. Kind of give it some thought. See what we could. What I'm like, look at what do we want to bring to the show? What would you change? What would you want to do with it? And he basically said, well, I need a few weeks. So fair enough. He's not definitely out for sure. And we had that good talk, and he's on hiatus for at least a few weeks. I did wonder if maybe he was going to pop up today, because I did have a hospital visit this past week, and I filled Mars and Brian in on it on our group chat. And so I thought maybe Brian might want to hear my story and might show up just for that. But apparently, no, that was not enough to get him to show up. I might have a little conference room information, nothing major, but we'll save that for after the real story. The real story is that while I was sitting here on Monday making these phone calls, my knee was a bit sore, which not sore enough to stop me from trying to do this show or make these phone calls. Yeah, we got 5 people in here now. That is cool. Thank you, Sparky. So Monday morning, my knee was sore, but not enough to prevent me from going into work. I walked down to the street to the train station, got myself into work perfectly fine. Throughout the day in the office, I was making efforts to not limp, because I didn't feel like having people ask me if something was wrong or why am I limping. So it's one of these things where if I walked naturally, I would have been limping, but I was able to make efforts to not limp, although when I was relaying the story to my coworkers today, one of my coworkers said, well, I didn't see you limp. And the other coworker said, yeah, I kind of noticed you were limping a bit. So I don't know if one coworker is more observant than the other, or if one coworker is just thinking like, oh, I think I noticed, or, like fake memory. I don't know. So, yeah. But I got myself, but throughout the day, the knee was getting worse. And I'm thinking to myself, did I hit it? What did I do? I don't recall doing anything to my knee, but whatever. Like any time before, something gets sore, give it time, it gets better. That's generally how it works. So, I was scheduled to go in on Tuesday again last week. So it's like, well, I guess I'm going to need to, get myself home, rest it up and suck it up and get ready for day 2. Hopefully a night's rest will dial this back enough to get through another day. But I get home and it's getting worse. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'll sit in my chair, do my show, chill in my chair. I'll be fine. Well, no, it was getting worse. Every time I'd stand up to like go use a restroom or something, it was worse. To the point where 10 comes in to say goodnight, and I stand up to walk over to give her a kiss goodnight, and I can't take the second step forward, and so he comes over and says, "Well, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I'm fine." And
Aw, Peter, she should have walked it off.
she's going to bed. We could have this conversation tomorrow. Like, I'll be fine. There's nothing we can do now anyway.
Off. It's fine.
I don't feel like figuring this out or talking this out right now. Just, I'm fine. I was not fine.
Should have had a beer to go to and gone to bed.
Sparky writes in, is this thing on? Did you have crutches? At this point in time on Monday night, I did not have crutches. But it was I was basically doing a bit of a shuffle, limp, grabbing onto things, maneuvering my way around. Sparky asks, was your knee swelled up? There wasn't an obvious swelling up, but there probably was some swellage that could be felt if looking at it, because what was happening was my knee was filling up with fluid. So I figure whatever, I get back in my chair until it's time to go to bed. I'll go to bed. I'll fall asleep. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. When I wake up tomorrow, when my alarm goes off at 5:45, if I'm still having this much trouble walking, I'm going to have to send my boss a 6 a.m. text basically saying, I can't make it into the office. I'm working from home. So I go to bed, get ready for bed, stumble my way. I basically made a point to gather everything I need, because sometimes my nightly ritual involves multiple trips down and up the stairs because the bathroom's downstairs and I forgot to get something upstairs. I made
damn bucket for your room.
Yeah. Well, I need to clean my mask and refill my water tank on the CPAP machine. So sometimes I get downstairs to brush my teeth and the CPAP stuff's still upstairs. So I made sure to get everything I need upstairs. I'm making one trip downstairs and one trip back upstairs because the stairs are getting hard. But I could still make it with the railing.
How's that bathroom renovation on the upstairs level going? What do you think?
Let me tell you
about that at one point.
When I bought this house, I thought about that, and I thought about that in terms of home value, and so I asked the real estate agent when I was closing. I asked him, what would converting the house from a 4-bedroom, 1-bath to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath do? Would that increase the value, decrease the value? He goes, decrease the value. No stutter, no hesitation. Because it's the 2-bathroom has nothing to do with it. The difference there, the key difference is 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom house. So putting an upstairs bathroom in here would mean turning this house into a 3-bedroom house, which... Yeah,
I have a question for you. I have
a
very important question for you.
Okay.
Growing up, how many kids? There's 3 in your family. 3 kids in your family.
I'm the oldest of 4.
Of 4. Could you imagine having a whole house, your whole house, with 1 bathroom?
Well, I
parents, you, all 4 kids, 1 bathroom.
I wouldn't raise 4 kids in this house. I'll tell you that.
Well, I know. I know, but when you look at the property value. Everybody in the room, would you rather have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or would you rather have a 4-bedroom, 1-bath? You really need to think about that one.
Sparky writes in, so people put bedrooms out of bathrooms these days. They're both elements, but a 4-bedroom house is better than a 3-bedroom house. I suppose there could be a person that is looking for at least 3 bedrooms, at least 2 bathrooms, that this would fall on the radar. But anyone looking for 4-bedroom houses would pass right over this if I turn it into 3, and it would make it harder to sell.
Is there a way to put a master bathroom in the master bedroom somewhere?
I suppose I could cram a toilet in the closet.
That would work.
Yeah.
There are people that put the little like my mom when she couldn't move as well anymore.
Yeah.
Right before she passed, she had the porta potty in her bedroom.
Yeah.
You can empty that every morning.
Sparky writes in, depends how old people living in the house. Yeah, well, this ain't an old person's house. All the bedrooms on the second floor. I mean, this is a starter house. Although, if anyone were going to have kids in this house, I'd suggest doing some plumbing to deal with the scalding hot water that comes out of the sink.
Oh, that's fine.
Which was a shortcut to basically have the same temperature water feed the heating and the sink.
I mean,
whereas really there should be some kind of a blending thing going on for what's feeding the sinks. Of course, people are also suggesting portable
Dude's
camping
got our back,
toilet.
Gators. Just letting you know. Dude's
Yeah.
got our back. He
Well,
figured it out.
I tell you, it might have come to that if I let this go on. Because so I go to bed Monday night and I can't get to sleep.
Well, I mean, you can always do the venison method too.
I could not get to sleep. I was lying awake in bed, could not get into a position where my knee was comfortable because the pain was getting that bad. Sparky writes in, wait, Johnny needs a toilet seat? No, Dune's talking about a portable camping toilet.
Well, what about
for it
the
upstairs.
5-gallon bucket and the pool noodle that's slit down the side? Just put it around it.
Yeah, that's an option. That's an option.
You get hot pink or green, whatever floats your boat that day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'm lying awake, can't get to sleep. I just got the TV on, hoping to nod off while watching reruns of One Day at a Time and Facts of Life and
How do you
Silver
fall asleep to
Spoons.
those shows? I have to watch them. Like, one day at a time I got to watch. I'm sorry. I can't fall asleep to that.
Oh, Schneider puts me right to sleep.
You really want to fall asleep to Schneider?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not falling asleep near Schneider. You do that if you want.
No, I was just joking around. But yeah, no, that's often, or it will depend. Sometimes I put on Home Improvement. Sometimes I put on the Good Mythical streaming channel. Sparky writes in, what about George Jefferson, All in the Family? I do love those shows. They're not in the rotation of the sitcom streaming channel that I found on Amazon at the moment, though. They tend to rotate at night. Facts of Life, One Day at a Time. What else is Benson? There's usually a few. Yeah,
Benson will put me right to sleep. Benson puts me my ass right to sleep.
Oh, and of course, Soap. Soap puts me right to sleep.
Oh, Soap will put you to sleep too.
Yeah, it puts me. Yeah, that puts me to sleep.
No Soap.
So I tend to fall asleep to Soap, and then like if I wake up in the middle of the night, it's a One Day at a Time. So it gives me a few minutes of entertainment before I fall back to sleep. Sparky asking, do you have a Fire Stick? Actually, I'm using a Roku stick with the Amazon app on it, Pluto and Pluto. But
I
the
turn
Amazon's
on YouTube
get
and
the-
wake up to random things all the time. So
Yeah, but yeah. So at some point I'm like, oh, I can't get to sleep. What am I gonna do? So I'm like, well, I could try to get myself down the stairs again, get an ice pack out of the freezer, get myself up the stairs again, and see if putting ice on my knee will provide me enough relief to get to sleep. Wait, who are we talking about now?
you what?
Oh, I'm just gonna do like I normally do and ignore doing. So I managed to stumble my way down the stairs. It was getting difficult at this point. It was a hard trip down the stairs. Got an ice pack, got up, and that did not help much. Helped some at times. It provided enough comfort to watch TV, not enough comfort to get to sleep. And the hours just kind of passed.
Did you take anything that like some Tylenol or anything to help with the swelling or anything?
I took some ibuprofen, but I mean,
Okay.
this was pretty fucking bad pain at this point.
Okay.
It was
So
I could
ibuprofen in a beer?
no, just ibuprofen. If the thought had occurred to me, I probably would have gotten some of my.
So you know what? I'm not going to work tomorrow. I'm drinking a couple beers tonight.
I didn't have any beer in the fridge actually, but I do have plenty of I've basically decided I don't care for pot, but I do have a bunch left over from like a few years ago. If I had thought of it, I probably would have started smoking that like there was no tomorrow, just to try to see if that would help.
Oh, we could do that. I don't know how good it is anymore. It's been a couple years old, but
I
I don't know the shelf life in that
Oh,
stuff. So.
it'll burn.
It'll burn, I see.
It'll burn. It'll make smoke. It'll go in my lungs. But I did not
see.
even think of that. I didn't think of it till Dune suggested it. Anyways, I did not think of that. At some point, I'm like, well, maybe I was more comfortable in the chair with my foot up, so I came back over here with the ice pack, got the foot up in the chair, got the stream on over in here. Oh, the lady from Soap. No, like I said, I fall asleep to Soap. I'm barely even paying attention to that. Soap is a challenging one because every episode doesn't stand alone. It exists in a context, and it's kind of weird. So I don't, I probably need to watch it beginning to end one of these days is what I probably need to do.
Oh.
But when it comes on, it puts me right to sleep for now. So I came in here, put my feet up, put the ice pack on the knee, finished watching some Facts of Life, and then some episodes of Benson came on. I nodded off a bit during the Benson episodes. So
that's all right.
that got me a little bit of rest. At this point, it was undeniable. I'm not going into the office. I'm not even sure if I'm getting any work done tomorrow because clearly this has reached the point of medical attention and I need to figure that out. So I actually was sitting here in the middle of the night Googling orthopedists that are in my network so I could be prepared to call someone in the morning and make an appointment for someone that knows about knees to look at my knee. Because I've
R54. Yeah, I used to watch that on Nick at Night back in the day.
I've not sat through a full episode. I think I've caught a bit on in the background. So no, I've not caught that one. Familiar with it, but yeah. So once 6 o'clock rolled around, texted my coworker, my boss, like I can't make it into the office today. I need to take a sick day. By 6 o'clock, I'm like, no work's getting done here today. Today is figuring this knee out day, or figuring out how to manage this. Now Tuesday also happened to be the day of Ten's annual physical. So the car wasn't available to me in the morning anyways. But she got up and I explained what was going on. Like, look, my knee's in really bad pain. I need to figure out I need to get someone to look at it. But you go to your physical and she's like, well, you want me to get you anything before I go to that? Because I got time. I'm like, well, I think they sell walking sticks at CVS.
They got canes at CVS. You can buy canes at CVS.
Yeah. So I'm like, go to CVS, get a walking stick, see if that helps me move around, and get a tube of Icy Hot to see if that can offer some relief with some numbness. I could still barely walk with the walking stick, and the Icy Hot made things feel tingly and made me smell minty fresh, but did not really offer much in the way of pain relief. I was still just really struggling. Yeah. But Tim went to the appointment and was like, should I come right home afterwards, or I'm like, no. You were going to go to Michael's, get some crafting stuff. You can't do anything for me here. You may as well do your normal routine. I'll just chill here on the couch. And of course, I call the orthopedic office. They can't see me till Thursday. And I'm like, but I can barely walk. At this point, I could barely walk. Like, the only reason getting down the stairs involved a bit of sitting down and scooting down on my bum down the stairs. And it was tricky to get to the stairs down the hall from my room to get to the point of sitting. I couldn't even crawl. I tried crawling. That was worse because that put pressure on my knee directly. So it's like, nope, I got to roll over and sit up. Now I got to figure out how to get me on my feet again. It was bad. I managed to get myself dressed, get myself downstairs, and pretty much knew that I was downstairs until my knee was getting better. That I was not going to be seeing the upstairs again for a while. So, although I guess I should have, if I was thinking, I would have brought my laptop with me, but I didn't. Well, I had my personal laptop downstairs, and I could do stuff from that. But anyways, got myself downstairs. I had a desk chair on wheels downstairs, so at some point I'm like, hey, Ten, can you get that out from the corner there and wheel that over to me? So that way I get myself from the couch into the office chair, wheel my way into the kitchen, make myself a little breakfast, some oatmeal, wheel my way into the bathroom, get myself situated from the chair to the toilet. You know, I got a system in place that morning. Okay. So I got the system in place. I got the orthopedic appointment scheduled for Thursday. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just live downstairs for the next few days. And on Thursday, the orthopedist will fix me up. You know, because what else can I do? So Ten goes to the annual physical. And I'm like, she's like, just text me if you need me to pick up anything else. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I start searching, and you know, Google and AI is suggesting certain pain relief patches of stuff on it, and maybe Aleve might be better than ibuprofen. And so I'm like, you know, get this, get that, get this, and then I'm sitting there on the couch. I am really, no, I didn't need a life alert. This was, so, but I'm sitting on the couch. Still unable to get comfortable. I'm like, I can't live like this for 2 days. Not to mention, it's still getting worse. You're like, is this going to stop at this point? So I'm like, okay, what are my options? And I really wasn't considering emergency room, because to me, emergency room is for like life or death. Like emergency room is, you can't get to the correct option because you don't have time to get to the correct option or the normal option. You know, to me, it's like the difference of calling the police or calling 911. If you have something that's not life threatening, but you need law enforcement, you call the regular police number. So I would need the regular doctor. So that's what I thought I was doing by making the appointment with the orthopedist, but they couldn't see me same day. I'm like, I can't walk. They're like, we don't do same day appointments. Sparky Toaster writes, do you think of ice or heat on your knee? I was putting an ice pack on my knee. That wasn't helping. I rubbed Icy Hot on my knee. That wasn't helping. I didn't get to the point of heat on my knee. I didn't feel like I needed more heat on my knee. My knee was kind of warm. So it was bad enough that nothing was helping. And if it was helping, it wasn't helping enough. So I basically was reaching the point, while I'm sitting there home myself on the couch, I'm like, I got to come up with something I can do today. This needs to be fixed today, or I need to do something today. And so I start looking into what other options do I have, because emergency room doesn't seem right, but what would be the right option then? And so then the recommendation that came from searching online is go to an urgent care. I'm like, urgent care? That's different from emergency room? Yeah, urgent care is walk-in urgent care. That's different from emergency room. I'm like, well, okay, this sounds right. This sounds like what is appropriate for my situation. Mm-hmm. I need to go to a walk-in urgent care. So where's there a walk-in urgent care? Well, it turns out my primary care doctor's office is also an urgent care office. I'm like, oh, perfect. Let me give them a call, because they're my primary care. They're an urgent care. They'll tell me what to do. You know, they'll either make an appointment or tell me to pop in So I called them up, and they said, well, you could come here, but, and that's not a good start to a phone call. And Sparky writes in, let the clinic send you to the ER if needed. That's kind of what happened here, but with a bypass. Because basically when I called them, and they said, you could come here, but the only thing we can do for you is to take an x-ray. And if we don't find anything on the x-ray, we're going to send you to the ER. So you probably are better off just going straight to the ER and saving yourself a trip. And
I would have said, there's something wrong with my knee. I'm getting my x-ray done. Let's go.
well, they had a valid point, though, because it turned out the x-ray was inconclusive. So I'm kind of thankful for their advice and saving me the time of a trip. That would have added hours to my experience. Sure. Driving to their office and then still having to drive to the ER. Basically, this person pretty much understood from what I was saying, like, we're probably not going to find anything on the x-ray and had to send him away. This is going to be a waste of a trip. Not to mention an extra office visit that I had to pay for something. So basically she's like, you're probably better off just going straight to the ER. You probably don't want to come here. I mean, you could come here. You're welcome to come here, but you might want to save yourself a trip. So I said, okay, I'll think about that. Well, actually, I pushed back. I'm like, but the emergency room, that's like life or death, isn't it? I can't. She goes, well, you have sudden knee pain that you can't explain. That qualifies as an emergency.
It does.
So I'm like, okay. Sparky writes in, but doesn't a clinic sending you to ER put you to a closer spot to the front of the line? Well, I don't know if that's how that works or not. I would think that the line has to do with triage and priority based on the severity of what they're seeing, whatever the source is. I don't know if the source adds to their calculation of urgency, but the line was really not an issue this day. It really wasn't. I have to say, my experience was walking into a hospital and within the course of less than a day, walking out of the hospital with a plan and an answer. And I know people that would kill for that. There are people that spend weeks, months, years trying to get an answer to what's wrong with them. I got an answer to what's wrong with me in 24 hours. That's pretty blessed. That's pretty lucky. I mean, if you're going to have something bad happen to you, that's a pretty damn good way to have something bad happen to you.
I don't know.
So
I asked if he was going to be amputated. He said he didn't say anything. So.
Mars is getting the chainsaw ready.
I was like, amputate. If you get amputated, can we call you Stubby? But he didn't say anything. So
Sparky writes in, you stayed over. No, I didn't stay overnight. I left the same day I went in with a plan and with tests pending that they had a good idea what the outcomes are going to be. The next day I got a call with the diagnosis, but I did not need to stay overnight. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the emergency room. I can't do this anymore. They talk me into it. My knee screaming at me is also talking me into it. So at that point, I just texted Ted. I'm like, just come home after your appointment. We're going to the emergency room, and so she did, and I got my Crocs on because I wasn't gonna waste any time putting socks on or tying shoes.
what?
No. Footwear that easily slides off and on is pretty useful in the hospital. Oh. So slid on my Crocs, put on a jacket, got my walking stick.
Your feet cold?
I was indoors most of the time. I was fine. I wasn't
walking through the snow in his Crocs.
I barely noticed the cold with the pain.
Barely
of my
noticed the 6 inches of snow outside. It's fine.
Susan writes in, did you fall or something? No, I Monday morning my knee was sore. It kept getting worse. There was no injury that brought this on. And there's a diagnosis at the end of this, so there will be an explanation. So stumbled my way to the passenger seat of the car, 10 drives you to the hospital. We get to the drop-off point in the emergency room. She drops me off. I get out looking like a dude that has no clue how to use a walking stick or that needs a... And the valet guy goes, would you like a wheelchair? Yes! Please.
Wow, you just want to be wheeled around.
I just wanted my knee to stop hurting, really.
Yeah,
So the valet guy gets me a wheelchair, wheels me up to the check-in desk. They take my information, my insurance card. I'm in the system anyways because it's the same hospital I went for the other. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity for me to use the other sound effect I have. Where do I have that? Oh, I don't know if I have that sound effect anymore.
I don't have that sound effect. Sorry.
Oh, yes, it's the same hospital I went to when that experience happened.
Oh.
That was the sound effect I used to describe my image of what a colonoscopy was going to be like. but it wasn't like that at all. But I thought for sure I was going to go. So I was already in their
Don't they
system.
make you poop in a bucket and you have to go into it for that anymore?
You do that at home.
Yeah, I poop in a bucket and send it to the mail. Which,
Oh,
Gators,
no, I don't do
Gators,
that.
Yeah, I have.
I did the real deal.
Gators, I would
Yeah.
get my this is side note. I had my physical about a month ago.
Yeah.
A month ago. They never got my poop.
Someone stole your poop?
I called UPS to come pick it up because they had
That-
service. So
Those
yeah,
porch
come pick it up.
pirates, man. They got themselves a
They're like-
surprise.
No, Gators. I handed it to somebody, and they said, "Okay." I opened the door. I go, "UPS." They're like, "Yep." I go, "Here you go," and they go, "Thank you," and they walk off. I talked to my physical, my doctor. He goes, "Yeah, what about your Cologuard?" I'm like, I sent that in. He goes, "We never got that," and I'm
That's
like,
not good.
"Oh, someone stole my poop?" I mean, to each your own, but
Something's ripe in the dead letter department.
I don't know where.
But so anyways, check in. They wheel me to the waiting area, and I've got visions in my head of emergency room waiting areas filled with a large room, lots of chairs filled with people, hours of waiting just to see someone.
Seattle, but yeah.
Like TV shows, because that's my only experience. I've never been to an
That's
emergency
the
room
experience
myself.
I've been in.
Yeah, but no, they wheeled me around the corner, small little room, like 2 or 3 people in there. A few minutes later, a doctor comes out to ask me what's going on, kind of do the preliminary, why are you here, what's going on, and I explain the knee hurts. I roll up my pant legs. He takes a look. He's like, okay, well, give me a few minutes and we'll wheel you back to triage.
No postage.
It could be.
Sorry, go ahead.
And so he comes out a few minutes later, wheels me back over to the triage area. They asked me if I could move over into the chair in their office to take down the information and details of what happened. I struggled my way there with the walking stick. Someone else is like, oh, we should get him some crutches. So they go off to find me a pair of brand new crutches while I'm giving the detailed information. 10 was out parking the car. She comes in. I see through the window, so I wave and I'm like, over here. And it sees me, comes over, and Dune writes in, you knew he was a doctor because he didn't touch your wiener. Yeah, no one touched my wiener throughout this story. Someone did try to put someone did try to make me go, but I had a hard no on that. We'll get to that. So anyways, So they take me information. They say, okay, well, let's get you back in your wheelchair. Wait over here a moment, and we'll get you over to a bed when we're ready. We got to get something, So I'm chilling in the wheelchair. Ten's sitting next to me, and the weirdest thing happens. I start feeling lightheaded. I was yawning a lot because I was tired from barely getting any sleep the night before, and I start feeling lightheaded. And I'm like, well, this isn't good. And then I start feeling more lightheaded, and I'm like, oh no. And I basically could detect that this was escalating to the point of passing out. And so I'm like saying,
pain. Yeah,
so
maybe.
well, I don't know if it's not that the pain. I mean, my knee was only in excruciating pain when I tried to stand or move it in certain ways or put weight on it. It was just very uncomfortable enough to not be able to sleep when I was sitting or lying down. It was still not unpleasant and bad, but it wasn't excruciating when I was off of it. Sparky asks, did they take blood from you? They did do some blood work. Dune writes in, you don't know for sure if they did. Well, so I'm sitting in the chair, getting lightheaded. I'm basically like, I'm getting lightheaded. It's getting worse. I'm going to pass out. It was more of a, it's like, should I get a doctor? I don't know, but I'm going to pass out. It was more of a, informational,
Might be an anxiety thing too, actually.
I wasn't feeling anxiety. Anyways, all right. So Pseudo's placing a bet on something. Well, not a literal bet, but sure enough. Now here's the weird thing. You know how you might sleep, and if you fall asleep, you're aware of the passage of time, or if you sleep and you snore, you can hear yourself snoring in your sleep, and you wake up, you're aware that you heard yourself snoring. That was not this experience. I was getting lightheaded. It was getting worse. And then it was like a time jump to a doctor instructing me to breathe in deeply, breathe deep, basically snapping me out of it, waking me up. And at some point they're like, you slumped over. And the doctors noticed that. They came over. You were snoring. I'm like, really? I was snoring? Yeah, you're snoring like you normally snore when you sleep. I'm like, wow, I did not like that. My brain kind of shut off for a moment there. But apparently not that long. So it must have been a stress fatigue thing because it didn't happen again. But that got their attention. And shortly after that, they wheeled me over to a bed and got me situated in there. And then they wheeled me over to the X-ray department to take a set of X-rays. The X-ray techs were all having an earworm of Madonna's "Like a Prayer." So they were just singing that back and forth to each other while they're wheeling me in to get the X-rays.
You must have watched Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's fine.
Pseudo writes in, you weren't on Oxy? Well, they were going to give me Oxy, but then I passed out.
Oh.
And if you pass out for an unexplained reason, they kind of want to monitor that, and they don't want to give you Oxy. So at that point, they gave me ibuprofen and said, we don't want to give you Oxy right now, but we could give you that later. But since you passed out there, and I'm at this point, like I said, it's not excruciating pain. I'm not moving it. It's just very uncomfortable and unpleasant. But I know I'm in a place that's going to fix me up, so I could deal now. I'm in much higher spirits than I was in my bed waiting for the night to pass so I can figure out what I'm going to do. I was in a much better headspace at this point. So they, like I said, the X-ray techs all singing "Like a Prayer." They're actually discussing like what they should change the song to because it's starting to get tired of "Like a Prayer." But they kept singing "Like a Prayer." Later in the day, they wheeled me past there. They were still singing "Like a Prayer." So that was their day earworm that they were singing back and forth with each other. Yeah, you gotta love standard workplace interaction that's happening in an environment that you might not think. But it's a workplace like any other workplace, just very different because it's also a workplace where enemas take place, which is not typical of workplaces. Speaking of which, poor person on the other side of the curtain next to me, she was there for the enema that day, and that was an experience we all got to be present for. Sparky writes in, after you snapped out of your brain reset, did you have memory feeling that? Yes. I remember feeling lightheaded. I remember it getting worse. I remember thinking I'm going to pass out. I remember the doctor telling me to breathe deep. So yeah, I remember all leading up to the pass out. I don't remember slumping down. Anyways, X-rays were inconclusive. So a doctor of some sort, probably a specialist of some sort. I don't know if she's a knee doctor or what, but whatever, she's a doctor that was the right one to look at my knee. So she comes over, she looks at my knee, and she goes, okay, well, you got some fluid in there. So we're going to need to drain that. You might have a fever. Let me take your temperature, see if you got a fever. My temperature came out 99.1. She's like, well, that's borderline. You might have a fever. I'd like to get a more accurate reading. So unfortunately, I might want to. And I said, can I opt out of that? And she's like, well, you could opt out of anything. You're not required to do anything. I mean, I can't make you. I'm like, okay, I'm opted out of the rectal thermometer. I'm like 99.1. You got what you need. And she go, okay, all right. So yeah, no, I almost, if I thought of it, I would have said, if I pass out again, go nuts. But if I am conscious, that is not happening.
Okay.
Sparky writes in, poor accurate reading, up the butt. Sula Sister writes in, they don't have a more efficient method by now. Apparently, rectal temperature must still be considered the gold standard of accurate body temperature.
You just want to look at your face when they just stick it up there.
I'd be face down, so they'd have to set up a mirror if they wanted to. Could you just lie on your side, twist your head so I can see your...
You face this mirror in between the hole. Okay, face that. Thank you.
I mean, they do have a more efficient method. It was the oral thermometer they used that gave them the reading that was all they were getting from me. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure my butt's the same temperature as my mouth. That's all you're getting.
How did you know that?
I didn't, but I wasn't letting them verify.
You weren't going to verify. Well, Gators, think of it this way. At least they didn't try your butt and then say, let's put this in your mouth. Because honestly, that's not hygienic.
So anyway, she's like, all right, well, you stay put. We're going to need to do some blood work. We're going to need to do a echo or sonogram, on your knee.
Yeah, I had both of those. Yeah.
With the wand and the gel, and we're gonna need to drain the knee. So you hang tight. So then they wheeled me over to get the echo thing done, and they got that, and then they wheeled me over to another room to do the draining. And at that point, they're like, "Well, yeah, we're not taking you back to the room. We're taking you to another room to get the knee drained." So I'm like, "Oh, well, I better text my wife then." And so I texted, they told me what room they're taking me to, so I texted so she can find that room, and she did. And so we all went in the room. At that point, they talked about the procedure, and this reminded me of something. Earlier, this reminded me of something. This is actually the second time I've gotten my knee drained, which brings me to the show topic. What is the average amount of knee drainings per lifetime?
I've never had a knee draining before.
Because I'm on 2 now. So is this normal to have multiple? No. You know what? I'm going to ask AI this question and see what AI gives for an answer. I'm going to ask AI, what's the average amount of knee drainings per lifetime? And we'll see what it comes up with. Here's the clean, evidence-based truth. There is no known average number of knee drainings per lifetime because no medical database tracks that as a population statistic. Joint aspiration is not a routine or predictable frequency procedure. It only happens when a specific medical problem triggers it. but we can map the patterns that determine how many aspirations a person typically ends up needing over a lifetime. Okay, so what we can say based on condition, most people 0 lifetime need ratings. So I'm a bit above average at this point.
Right.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I'm going to save the rest of this for later because it starts giving those with osteoarthritis might have 0 to 2 a lifetime. Those with gout might have 0 to 5 a lifetime. People with prosthetic knees might have 1 to 5 a lifetime. Remind me to come back to these figures. I left one out. Dude writes in, I have never had my knee drained or asked to drop trowel for a piece of glass.
Either to put one in or take one out.
Sparky asks Same's knee. I am uncertain, but my recollection of the previous knee draining was I was lying on a table with the doctor over here. So I believe I had my right knee drained previously. This time it was my left knee.
Ooh,
So
right. See, they had to even up.
yeah, so I've got one of each.
Nice.
So
They
anyways,
just stick a little spigot in there. What'd they do?
we'll explain that. I actually want to take this opportunity to since I didn't tell this yesterday, I may as well tell that story. When I was in 6th or 7th grade, because I remember Mrs. Hunter noticing me limping, and I only had her for a teacher 6th and 7th grade. So it was one of those 2 years, right around that time. My knee started hurting to the point where I was walking with like a peg leg. Like I wasn't bending the knee because it was bending the knee that was hurting. So I was basically doing this peg leg walk. And it was one of these things that at first you're like, oh, it'll probably get better on its own. And I never understood what caused it. And I doubt it has the same cause as this one. But who knows? So I was doing the peg leg walk. We see my primary care doctor, pediatrician at this point in time in my life. And he says, well, you need to see a specialist. So I went to the specialist office, and I think at some point I had to go between the specialist office to a hospital, back to the specialist office. I think there was some blood drawn, and Sir Mars Racing caters to Gamers Sups flavor knee water. Gamers Sups flavor? What flavor? I'm sorry, Mars. Maybe you could tell that one.
Gamer Subs is a lot of a powder mix that a lot of which people use, and
this would be more of
their own flavors and stuff.
This would be more of a concentrate you take out of the freezer and add water to. Sparky writes in, as a kid, did you do anything that was hard on your knees? Maybe all this is a kickback for 38 years ago. Well, there is a diagnosis at the end of this, and I doubt that diagnosis is connected to when I was a kid. I was not very athletically inclined, but I did go outside and play, in the era I grew up. But at some point when the specialist was trying to attribute it to something, I couldn't come up with anything. And my mom's like, well, remember when you slipped on the ice and fell when you went down to get the mail? I'm like, yeah, but I don't recall hurting my knee. And it's like, well, maybe you did. And then it's like, well, and you were jumping rope just the other day, weren't you? I'm like, so the specialist's like, okay, maybe you slipped on the ice, fell, injured your knee, and then jumping rope aggravated it. So that was the best theory they came up with, but I never felt it was a very sound theory. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, kids fall all the time and get up and keep going on.
Oh, God,
and
Gators, I don't think I had skin on my knee my first 12 years of my life. I always fell off my bike after jumping ramps and going down ditches. And dude, I was a kid. I went everywhere. It didn't matter. Yeah. You know? That's what it was. So
we had to make a follow-up appointment. They put the needle in, drain the knee. I have vague memories of that, and it wasn't a big deal. The thing I really remember about that is I had to go back to their office for a follow-up appointment, and when we went back for the follow-up, they put us in a room in the back and forgot about us. And it was me, my mom, at least two of my siblings, maybe all four of us were there, and we were back there for like a fucking hour. I mean, we were getting restless. The kids are running around. I want to get the fuck out of here. And at some point, the doctor comes in, not to see us. He comes in and he gets surprised. He's like, "Whoa, I didn't know anyone was in here. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back." And so, oh God, that was the Sparky Ray said, "Yeah, jumping ramps. I did that too, Mars."
Yep. We had a cul-de-sac, and so we'd set up bricks. We get a bunch of cinder bricks, and we put like big boards on, big. Yeah. And
what we would
jump our ramps as high as we could. Yeah.
Well, we didn't have ramps, but what we would do is what is it? We lived on the cul-de-sac. Of course, the ground is elevated from the street with those like bricks.
Curb.
Those
the
curb, those curb blocks.
Yeah.
And where the driveways are, they put an angled block to angle it down to where the driveway comes in. Mm-hmm. And so we would like run our front tire. We kind of do a little around the edge of the driveway and hit that slanted brick to try to get a small little jump off of that little hop. That's barely going up on a ramp, but it is getting a little boop. That's what we did in our neighborhood.
There you go. That works too.
That was pretty lame, probably, compared to what you guys were doing. No real ramps. Anyways, let's get back to the hospital. So they wheel me in to drain my knee. At this point, they're like, "Oh, well, you already had the oxycodone." I'm like, "No, I didn't." You didn't? No. Oh, let's get that for you.
Ibuprofen. They gave me ibuprofen. Give me some
right.
good stuff.
So that's when they gave me the oxycodone. I don't even know if I really felt much of an effect from it. Probably gave me a small dose. Probably helped without me even... Because also they give it to me right before they drain the knee, which draining the knee is also relief. And before they drain the knee, they numb the knee with some numbing injections. They soap up the knee, scrub it down real good to make sure you don't get infected.
So the one clean part of your body is your knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they basically get this, syringe. And it's one of these, larger, more heavy-duty syringes because they're going to poke that into your knee, and they're going to pull the plunger out to pull out the fluid that's in there.
Did you keep any of it?
No, they needed to test that to determine if first they need to check if there's any infection or anything, because that's a concern. And then they want to test for if they can find a diagnosis or a cause of what's going on in the knee. Check for crystals, basically. And I was awake for this, and it was fine because they numbed the knee. There were some moments where I cringed a little and it felt a little weird, but it wasn't bad at all.
Did you have your phone out? Did you take video of it?
I did not take video of it. I didn't think to. And yes, I did watch. You
should have live twitched it.
I watched. It was fine. I watched both times. It was fine.
Guys, I'm live streaming this. Look, they're draining my knee.
So, I kind of asked her, well, what do you, is that what the fluid normally looks like? Do you have any thoughts on the appearance? And she's like, well, it's hard to predict, and I've, guessed wrong many times, but, it looks kind of straw-colored, but a little more cloudy, and, she had a few suggestions what she think it might be, but who knows, I might be wrong. So we wheeled me back to the room that I was in before, the emergency room area, and that's when we got the lovely experience of being in close proximity to an enema being performed, and that's got a lot of sounds and smells associated with it.
Yes.
I was still probably having a better day than the person next to me having that procedure done. If I had to choose going to the hospital for an enema because I'm stopped up or to get some fluid out of my knee, I think I'd rather them jam things in my knee than to jam things in my butthole. So Dude Ray said, the old wheel beer knee fluid.
Yeah.
Or wheat beer knee fluid. Yeah, pretty much. So after a while, while the enema's going on, two doctors came back because the doctor that drained my knee was getting ready to leave for the day and was handing me off to another doctor. And they came back and they said, it's not an infection. Or it's not a septic infection, nothing major. We still want to check to make sure there's no infection. They're running that through the test right now. Once we get the results of the test, we'll come back and let you know. Probably be about an hour, and then we'll know what's going on. Sparky is suggesting this would be a good time. I should put this one on a button. We need to pull out someone's favorite song. Because this would be a good time for our favorite, one of our favorite songs.
I wonder what's inside your butthole. I wonder what's inside your butthole. Maybe there's astronauts and maybe there's aliens all inside your butthole. What's inside your butthole? I always want to know. What's inside your butthole? I always want to know. What's inside your butt? I wonder.
There's a lot of air and a lot of stool and a lot of gas inside. It was an interesting experience happening right on the other side of a curtain right next to me.
Did you want a match?
No, I didn't want to blow the place sky high. It was like I said.
Did you tap on the curtain? Hey, you comfortable over there?
I was having. I'd much rather be in a room listening to an enema than in a room having an enema with other people listening
it's
to
like,
it.
I got something drained down my knee too. It doesn't smell the same though.
I feel bad. Like I would have wished for this lady that they could have gotten her a more private place to have this done. But it's the emergency room. It needs to happen.
You gotta get that thing stuck out. You gotta get it out. You gotta get it out.
You got to get it out. Yeah. I mean, because from listening to the conversation, apparently they tried to DIY this at home that morning, but they didn't get out everything they needed to get out. So, I mean, talk about, not only do you go into the hospital for the professional enema, but you had the DIY. That's two enemas for the price of one right there.
I mean,
So-
you either play that or Boogie in the Butt for her. I mean, that's really great.
Yeah, but anyways, so an hour later, they came back in and told us that there was Sparky Ray said you should have pulled that song up on your phone. You would have made everyone. I do not know if they would have seen the humor in that. That would have been a very poor taste. I think the person having the procedure done would have been mortified, and I don't need to add more to this person's day. But maybe on my earbuds. Maybe if I thought to bring my earbuds with me, I could. But anyways, that was pretty much. So they came back and said there's no infection, which is a good thing because you don't want an infected knee. Because if you do, then they got to. And so they prescribed me 3 medications. One was a pain relief medication. One was something that's like helps with the swelling of things, and then one was some oxycodone to use as needed for the severe pain. Be careful with this stuff. Oh, by the way, you
it's
need to be
addictive.
careful with this stuff. You should be careful with that stuff. Really, only use it as needed. Be careful with it. Which I'm glad to listen to all the disclaimers because I understand already. Like,
Hey, they tried
That-
to give me Norco for
that's-
my. They tried to give me Norco for my freaking tooth when they pulled it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want that. Thank you.
yeah. So I filled it because if that night was going to be like the previous night, I would have taken one. But that after I had my knee drain, I slept pretty good that night. Did not need. So I got a bottle of Oxy that I'm not taking any of. So I might keep that around for an emergency. But check the expiration date on that. But anyways, the other thing is they asked, so are you under orthopedic care? I said I made an appointment for Thursday, but I could cancel that. They said no, you should keep that, which really I shouldn't have, but that's okay. Because on Wednesday I got a phone call that the test results came back. Sparky writing in. So what was the answer for H2O on the knee? Is there a drainage hole clogged somewhere?
He's got that little spigot. They stuff with those little spigots in there like they do to tap the syrup.
No, well, after they took the syringe out, they got a big old wad of gauze and tape on there. Yeah, so they taped it closed.
Spackle.
Yeah. So dude, did they ask if you have firearms at home? They did not. I think they took one look at me and they were like, we don't have to ask that one. No, they did not ask me that question. They didn't ask me that one. So anyways, on Wednesday, I got a dude writes in, I told them I have firearms in this office. That's a good one. But anyways, Wednesday I got a phone call and the diagnosis is in. I have pseudo gout is what I have.
And do you remember what Brian said right in the message when you said that?
He said no beer for you.
Yes, no beer
for you. Pseudo gout's not the same as gout. It's similar. It's a different type of crystal that my body is producing that is creating the problem with joints. Pseudo gout is not connected to uric acid like gout is. So the dietary management that one does with gout is not the same way you manage pseudo gout. So I from what I've Googled, it's not a dietary restriction thing. I'm not quite sure what the long term means for this. But going back to that AI question I had, the average amount of knee drainings someone with pseudo gout has in their lifetime is 1 to 20 plus per lifetime.
Oh.
This is the group with the widest range. So people with pseudo gout could have chronic inflammatory CPPD and could potentially have several drainings in a lifetime. Now, my hope is that there's ways to get ahead of it, that when I start having a sore knee, I could do something before it gets to the point of needing to be drained. Dude running in, Johnny, you should know the word pseudo from your box days. Just saying. Pseudo sinister writing in, what the fuck? No, pseudo gout. I had never heard of it before either. Because they're like, well, it might be gout, it might be pseudo gout. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So I'm like, so you need to test what type of gout I have. And they didn't correct me, but they made a point to refer to gout and pseudo gout as if they were two different things. And so I'm like, oh, I get it. Pseudo gout is not considered a type of gout. Pseudo gout is considered a different thing. But it has similarity. Like gout typically presents in the extremities, the feet, the toe, that's whereas pseudo gout tends to appear in your joints, your knees, your hips. So that's my understanding there. And I don't think it's a baby gout. I think it's it's just as serious as gout. It just has different causes and different approaches to dealing with it. But the thing is that where I really need to be referred to with my diagnosis is a rheumatologist. But what I had an appointment with was the orthopedist. So I go to see the orthopedist, And he doesn't understand that this appointment came in before the diagnosis and that I made it myself. So he comes in and he goes, well, I understand that you have pseudo gout and you've been treated for that. I don't know why the hospital referred you to me. They really should have referred you to a rheumatologist. And that's why I said, well, I made this appointment before I went to the hospital, and they told me to keep it. He goes, oh, okay. Well, we could, take a, and he looked at it, and he said, yeah, and he looks fine. Because by then I was walking without a walking stick even. By Wednesday, I was walking with a limp, but getting myself up and down the stairs. By Thursday, I was walking normal, little remnant of soreness in the muscles around the knee from just being stressed. But by the weekend, I was, I could have done jumping jacks if I wanted to.
Did you do jumping jacks?
No, I did not. And hello there, Mod Pro. I'll wave to you.
Oh no.
Dude, writing in, stop it. So now I'm waiting to. Apparently, I've been referred to a rheumatologist, and they're going to call me. So I'm waiting to get that phone call to get an appointment with a rheumatologist, and they're going to be able to give me more information about what do I do in my living with pseudo gout. And my question is going to be, how do I not get up to 20 knee drainings in my lifetime? Because I'm already above average. 2 is enough for me. And oh, by the way, what other thing you should know about me is that there will be no happening.
Not while you're conscious.
No. But I don't think there's any joints there I need to worry about.
So you're not sneaking anything in or out of prison.
Once I said that, I realized the innuendo there, and it was looking for a good way to turn a phrase. And I guess you did it for me.
Anytime. Happy to help.
Shitter was full.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude says you have to do that. It's pretty important.
Yeah.
I used to poop in a bucket and it disappears, apparently.
Yeah, because basically what it means is my body produces crystals that can agitate my joints. So that's something I got to live with and manage.
Actually, Dune, they won't give you the scope anymore. They make you do the test in the mail first until they find out there's something wrong, and then they'll sit there and they'll do the scope.
Me, they did it. They did the actual. They did the scope. That's what they recommended.
Even the prostate exam, they do blood work for that now. You don't have to stick anything up there anymore. Yeah.
I'm good for 10 years. I don't have to worry about that for another 10 years.
Mine's
And also, there is no, because they turn your brain off for it, which is like basically, hey, you want to put a scope up there or a thermometer up there. First thing you got to do is turn my brain off, because I do not want to be going. Yeah.
No, they just take blood work now, which is interesting. It's like,
yeah.
I don't need that. Because I asked my doctor last year, and I'm like, do you need to, check that? And he's like, oh, no, that's in blood work now. We don't need to worry about that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'll take that as a plus.
Sparky writes in, it says people 60 years old get your issue. Do you feel old? Yes. Pseudo gout is typically 65 year or older. I am young for pseudo gout. That certainly has me making the jokes about, well, I guess I'm officially old. Do I feel old? I never feel old. I feel like me. If there was a moment I felt old, it was when I was unable to take a step forward and was having trouble walking. But when I'm, rebounding and doing jumping jacks by the weekend, I'm feeling pretty young again, Dude writing in, what are you trying to say, Spark? So there, we covered my conversation with Brian. We covered me and Mars are still here doing the show weekly for now. We did cover. I am considering maybe some kind of a bi-weekly adjustment or something.
Wait. Does bi-weekly mean 2 times a week or every other week?
Yes.
Oh no, I can't do it 2 times a week. Gator. I'm sorry.
No,
We're not
it's
doing
one of
this- huh?
it's one of those terms that you have to figure out from the context because it gets used both ways.
Oh.
I mean it every other week. I said yes because it could mean either.
Oh.
So
I
that-
wondered.
So that leaves us with nice 15-minute left for a conference room update.
Yeah, did you wear your tri-cornered hat today last week?
I did not.
Oh.
No, Paul Revere's been acting fine. The only update I have is once a year, there's a company that has nothing to do with our company that needs to use a conference room, and well, here's the deal. My number one at our company was also part of like a board of another company, and you know he's a people pleaser, and this other company he's on the board of needed a place to host a meeting, and so he offered our conference room to them. For the past few years he's done this. And so once a year they show up, and when this happens, they reach out to us going, we need someone on site to support this, and tomorrow's the day, and the meeting is from 4 to 5. And so my boss said, well, you finish the day at 3:30. Your coworker works till 5:30, so it probably makes sense for him to come in that Tuesday. That's why I was supposed to go in last Tuesday, because last Tuesday would have been 2 weeks in a row. It ended up neither of us went in last Tuesday, so I got a freebie there. But my coworker's going in tomorrow. He's supporting this meeting. But the thing is at this point, number one in our company, he's not on their board anymore. I guess he's still buddy with them, so he's still offering them our so we have no connection to this company or these people, but we gotta they're coming in, they're using our conference room, and we got to run around making sure everything's working right for them. Like today we had a call about this, and it's like, well, they're coming in with their laptops. I'm like, okay, so we're going to need to help them get connected to the guest Wi-Fi because no one can figure that out, even though it walks you through the steps. Okay, so they're going to host on Zoom. Okay, all right, well, they're going to need to use the USB cable on the podium. And it's like, okay, well, they're going to need this and what adapters we have is like, well, we got HDMI cable with mini DisplayPort, USB-C, and DisplayPort adapters on it. So we got those 4 types of connectors. We have a loaner laptop if it comes down to that, but that's an emergency. That's plan C or D. Projectors are all working now. The new light bulbs have not melted yet. Someone knock on wood. So yeah, that was the phone call we had today to prep for a conference room support tomorrow for a bunch of people that have nothing to do with us making money. So yeah, we don't have enough of our own conference room problems. We got to outsource to bring in
Are you
some.
supporting them? Or are you going in tomorrow then? Or
No, my coworker's supporting this, but I was on the phone call. And so I'm just observing how, and the guy that, and it's funny, the one guy that's running the phone call, that's contacting everyone, lining up all the data, who's kind of doing some coordinating. He's like, next year I'm going to tell him no. I'm like, okay, was it even in the form of a question? I didn't say that, but I was thinking, like, what do you mean next year you're going to tell them no? You mean you could have said no this year? You mean this is in the form of a question, or you just mouth it off? Like, I don't think
he's
the
probably
number.
just like, dude, don't blame me. I didn't do this, but next
I mean,
year
this
we'll
is
just say what
yeah.
happened
I mean, because this is number one top of the company. Like, even if it is the form of a question, it's not really a question.
No,
You know?
it's like, don't worry, guys. Now, if he would pretend, don't worry, guys. Next year, I'll just tell him no, because you know what? We have no real association with you, unless we're gonna pay you some dollar. Then
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Sparky Radigan, how is that new monitor wall hanger thingy working out? Oh, it's working out great.
Is it still swinging?
Yeah, it's working out great. It is great. Knock on wood, it is great. In fact, I didn't even do a walk around to check the conference rooms today. No tickets, no calls came in. Got lucky. Everything worked today.
That means all hell's breaking loose tomorrow. Good thing you're not there.
Although, you know what kind of sucks is on Monday, when my knee was getting worse, I attributed it to years of stress of having to lug around this everywhere my knees go. And so I was like, you know what? I think it's time to try to, at least drop 10 or 20, at least get back to some kind of a normal overweight range.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a little overweight too. I should probably do that as well.
So,
I'll get myself a treadmill or something.
So the day after the hospital trip, it's like, all right, we're cutting the carbs. Because after the hospital trip, that's the thing. I had breakfast. I went to the emergency room. We got out. It was dinner time. So we were hangry. And that's when we got the big old McDonald's order. And it's like, your diet starts tomorrow. McDonald's today. So
Keto diet.
Keto, yeah. In my day, we called it Atkins. But low carb. It's all the same.
I mean, when you're eating like a pepperoni stick a day, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. I got the cheese sampler and the pepperoni salami sampler.
You got
There's
the
my
charcuterie
snacks.
board. You're ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, I just eat them right out of the plastic package. I don't need no board.
It's like, screw that board.
It's a DIY charcuterie in my mouth,
Wow.
is what it is. But yeah.
And you don't have to spell it.
But they do so many lunch and learn events that they brought in to celebrate Lunar New Year a bunch of Asian food for a free lunch today, which of course is meat and sugary sauces basically. So it's like, yeah, I'm skipping out on this and I'm just ordering a salad from down the road is what I'm doing. Dude writes in, don't fuck it up. Oh, who knows? The last time I tried to do this, I spent like 3 months spinning my wheels, flatlining, losing no weight. And I basically, after 3 months, was like, why am I torturing myself and getting nothing for it? Fuck this. I give up. Of course, now I've gained more since then. Basically, I've come full circle. And it's not that bad that it's taken me this long to come full circle. Because consider this. Let me get my dates right. Let me just go to my right folder here. The first time I successfully did the Atkins was when I was in California. And that was, let me pull up my spreadsheet to see what year that was. That was about 10-ish years ago.
You were also doing a lot of walking too at that point.
Not in California. I didn't do a lot of walking until I got here. And when I got around here is when I started to kind of bottom out and stop losing weight. Most of my weight loss took place in California. And that was in 2014. From 2014 into early 2015, I went from 268 pounds to, at my lowest, I was at like 203, 204 around March of 2015. I've weighed myself now. Here I am, 12 years later, and 12 years later, I'm back to 267.
I am kind of sad. I am 30 pounds heavier. Yeah, I'm 30 pounds heavier than I was in high school.
So it sucks it sucks to lose weight and to get back to the weight that you were at before you lost weight. But then again, to give up on a diet and to gain weight again and to get back to your starting point 12 years later, that's not bad.
No.
A lot of people, it's, you diet for a few months, you give up, you're back to where you started a year later or less than a year later. I mean, I did really kind of, I never really fully gave up until maybe a few years ago. So I do back in 2022, 2, I did try to lose weight again, and I really only lost like 5 pounds over the course of 3 months, and I was just like, fuck this. But back then, I was still around between 240 and 250. Now that I'm getting close to 270 again, I think I could get down to 250. I think I can manage to get there. I don't know how much further I could get easily without having to do some heavy workout stuff, which I don't want to stress the knees. Sparky writes in 203 is your fighting weight. I don't know if I'm ever going to see 203 again. And 203 wasn't where I wanted to stop back then either. I kind of wanted to. It would have been nice if I could have gotten under 200, even if just for a moment. But it got.
You just needed one big poop. You'll be fine.
Let me tell you. Once I got to the under 210, it was very hard to move anymore from that range. It just was not happening. That's just where I bottomed out. I could only maintain that and only strictly. At that point, I could basically waver back up to 225 and try to taper down and up, or maybe go up to 250, back down to 225. I was kind of living in that range for a while by kind of half doing the diet. The thing is that doing the diet adds complications to life, because then it restricts meal preps and things like that. And so finally in 2022, when I said fuck it, it was basically like, okay, 10, whatever you want to make me for dinner, just don't let this impact the menu, just make dinner. And it was nice to have normal dinners again. Doing writing in, you could do it. Well, let me tell you, I'm making a cheesecake for Easter.
Okay.
And if I'm making a cheesecake, I'm eating a slice of cheesecake. But between now and Easter, I'm doing induction. I'm hoping maybe I can drop 5 to 10 pounds between now and then.
So what's
That'd
that, 2
be
weeks?
That'd be a nice head start. And then after Easter, the week after Easter, we also have a poster dinner because we couldn't find room to schedule a pre-Easter dinner. That's the Easter celebration with my cousins. So this year we're doing it the Sunday after Easter, so it'll be poster. But I'll make a cheesecake for that one too. So that's 2 slices of cheesecake I'm having, and I'll probably have a dinner roll or 2, and a side of mashed potatoes. But yeah, I'm having 2 cheat meals those Sundays. But I am gonna try to stick to it after poster until summer, and then come summer, it's IPA season. We'll see where I'm at there. Maybe I'll make it a light
IPA season. I see.
Maybe I'll make it a light beer summer, or maybe I'll say fuck it. I don't know. All I know is
Samuel Adams will lose so much.
If I put off 10 to 20 pounds, that's not a bad thing. And if that's all I do, that's not a bad thing. And if I'm able to do that and I don't sustain it through the summer, I do better with the New Year's resolution, holiday season's over, just kind of get through the boring winter eating boring stuff. So I this might be a prelude to 2027's New Year's resolution and getting serious about it. But I'd like to at least stay under the high range that I started from 12 years ago. So if I could put off 20 pounds before another summer of fun, Sparky writes in, mashed taters isn't good. Oh,
No, Sparky, you have this.
You haven't had my
mashed
aunt's
potatoes are very good.
You
Are
haven't
they
had
good for
my
the
aunt's
diet?
mashed potatoes.
No, but they're
Oh.
very good. Yeah.
I mean, she does the mashed potatoes. That's in the casserole dish. It's in the oven, crusty on top, but melted butter coming out of. Oh my god! And her Velveeta mac and cheese. Yeah. I won't go back for seconds on the mashed potatoes. I gotta leave room for the cheesecake.
What about thirds?
I'll skip the seconds. I'll have thirds.
There you go. See, that's
There you
perfect.
go. It's a compromise.
Yeah, compromise.
There you go. Shepherd's Pie is good. Anyways, on that note, man, I think that's the first time in a long time I've come with enough content to completely fill the entire show and not have to riff it for the last half hour. I only had to talk about conference rooms for 15 minutes, which is good. We want a conference
You
room
just have
update.
to you just have to break your knee every week. I mean,
Yeah. You know what? We'll do a show every time I have to get my knee drained. Is
Yeah.
what we'll do, and that'll be the new show schedule. No,
the-
kidding.
the spigot
Let's.
knee episode shows.
Oh, but on that note, this has been another fun-filled edition of.
Insert title here.
But we do try to be educational here, and I think we've all learned a little something here. So Mars, what have you learned here this week?
I've learned the game operation isn't exactly correct. The water on the knee, you can't just take tweezers and yank it out.
No, I guess not. You gotta get that syringe in there. Get
Yeah.
suck it out. And I learned something very valuable that you must always remember. If the doctor at the hospital wants to take your temperature rectally, you are allowed to opt out. That is something you should always know. I think that's the most important thing that's come out of this show. And Sparky Ray said, I learned Johnny says no to anything up the butt while awake.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe while I'm passed out if I trust you. Because that's the thing, I trust a doctor. But I'm not willingly going along with that. On that note, it's been thank you for listening. We're going to look for someone to raid. We will be back next. We are planning to be back next week. Mars, you're planning
You know
to
my
be here.
schedule. Who knows? I plan on being here, but you know how
We're
it
gonna need
goes.
to. We're gonna need to put some kind of official show announcement thing up to keep you all in the loop, since you're part of a small community here that might be shrinking. But we are going to try to keep something going here, something together here.
Yeah.
I think we could get on an upswing again and get something useful out of. I mean, thank you for sticking with this show through its ruts and through its ups and downs. A link to Discord. You know what?
Yeah, a lot of people do link to Discord and do your disco notifications, and people do stuff like that all the time.
I need to
It goes
set
right
that
to his
up.
phone. What?
I don't even know what the link to my Discord is. I need to look that up, set that up. So maybe that'll be next week's topic.
Yeah.
So let's see who is live right now, who we can raid. Let's see. Let's see. Read a glitch. Mermaid Unicorn. A lot of these I don't recognize them. Who is Tea Eater? Well, they're just chatting. So okay, you know what? Well, Rita Glitch is just chatting. Doesn't she usually sing though? Day 7 recording my debut album. All right. Tell you what. Let's what's Sessions? Let's see what Sessions is doing. They are advertising chicken nuggets. Is what they are doing.
Oh, okay.
It's actually no. That's not chicken nuggets. That's a chicken tender crunch wrap, crispy chicken crunch wrap supreme, is what
Okay,
they're
that's
advertising.
okay.
And now they're advertising Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's
Oh
good.
damn! I should have knocked out a bag of those the day before the diet.
You know, I keep getting the with the Kinder the Kinder, not the eggs, the surprise things now
Oh,
for YouTube.
oh,
So I'm like,
oh, the Cadbury or the
No, the they're not eggs. They're Kinder something or other
Okay.
nowadays. The Kinder Joys.
No. Okay, well, that's gaming, and we don't typically go into unless it's is anyone we normally raid live
Nope.
right now? Man, we got less competition on Mondays maybe. All right, well, it looks like Rita Glitch might be oh, she's talking, I guess. But she says her topic's recording her album. That could be interesting. So, all right, we'll go ahead and raid Rita Glitch. I think we've raided her before. So let's see if that works. It does.
Nice.
All right. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about Discords. We'll see if maybe Brian has an update or not.
Yeah.
Probably not because he said weeks plural. But I'll be here. Mars will be here unless we're not. And good night.
Yep. See ya.
Oh, she is singing now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was good.